Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Day 6. After yesterday's rousing success, we're encouraged and moving forward and hitting day 6.
It's going to be hard to top day 5.
I know, that was... Yeah, that was really...
The best low alcohol beer I've ever had.
Yep, hands down. So day 6.
Open that shit up.
Let's see what we got here.
We got a can.
It is a can. It's Raid Beer Hoppy Pilsner. Loaded with Simcoe, Citra, Nelson Sauvin, Centennial hops with a hint of Rebellion and Scorched Barricades. So, and the can, really fun. It's like a polka dots of various shades of brown and black.
Green and yellow.
No, dude, that's all brown.
No,
Where do you see green and yellow?
that's green. That's kind of beige.
No, dude, that's beige, and that's like a dark brown, and that's black.
No, that's green.
No, dude, that's not green. It's all shades of brown.
It is green.
It's not green.
Come on, it's
You
green.
colorblind son of a bitch.
We might have to have that checked out.
Yeah, maybe it's lighting or something. But that's a
That's a feisty
frothy.
one.
This is very brown looking. So pilsners are not anyone's favorite. I don't think anyone said, "Oh my God, is that a pilsner?"
Well, only 90% of the population, or 90% of the beer sales.
Yeah, well, I mean, because they buy like the worst stuff. I mean, it's like not to say that the pilsner are the worst, but it's like Budweiser, Coors Light. I mean, those are all pilsners. Miller, everything out of Germany, pretty much. Czech, and Czech and German pilsners are really good. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, pilsner is not in the craft beer game. It is not where people are rushing to.
No. Not yet.
Not yet, anyway. But if you've read any kind of beer trends, pilsners are on the rise, and I think they've discovered some new yeast strains that they can use for pilsners. So at least there's 1 or 2 new ones that have come out in the past year that people are starting to experiment with.
And you also have the people making the hoppy pilsners, or the modern lagers as well.
Yeah. So it is getting a reinvention of sorts, and I've tried a couple of. In fact, I tried a sour pilsner at the same time that I tried the smoked coffee and beer.
Oh, the one that we had on day 3?
3 or 4. Yeah, I guess it was day 3. Yeah, and it was amazing. It was like, a clean, nice, neat pilsner with this great sour tinge to it. I really, really enjoyed it, and it may have been because I tried it at the same time, and I think they both came out relatively close to each other. I might have been the first person that checked on that beer as well.
Of course you were.
I'll go back and check and see, but not this episode. But I'll look at some point.
Massive head on this thing.
Yeah, it's a crazy head. And again, wow, really dark color, kind of an apricot-y kind of color to it.
It reminds me of the color of the day 1 and 2 beers, actually.
Yeah, definitely day 1. So that is nice. I like to see that darker, like when it comes to pilsners, I like to see them on the darker side than on the lighter side. Because the lighter sides
are going to be more interesting.
Yeah, are so thin. But this one has a lot of, and with so much hops going into it, I have a lot of hopes for it. Smells extremely hoppy.
Definitely get the Nelson in there.
Yeah, it is. It smells so good. Just crazy hop forward. Are you ready?
Cheers.
You get the maltiness of the pilsner. And while it smells extremely hoppy, I would say the flavor...
It's not very bitter at all.
It's not bitter.
You get a lot more pilsner in the flavor than you get in a nose.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's a little bit misrepresentative because from the nose, you're expecting a lot more.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
No, I completely agree. I don't think you get the hoppiness out of the beer and the taste as you do from the smell.
No. But it's still, I mean, Pilsner-wise, it's great.
Again, the quantifying for a Pilsner.
True. For a Pilsner, this is great. But also, I gotta say that from the massive head, you expected quite a lot of carbonation in it. And it actually falls kind of flat on carbonation, doesn't it?
Yeah, and actually mentioned it. There is not a huge amount of carbonation in the mouthfeel.
No.
But I don't think that's a bad thing in this particular case.
No, it doesn't do any damage to it. It doesn't do any injustice to it.
And actually, the more I drink it, I think the more I like it. This is a 5.2. Again, not a high alcohol. But with that much hops in it, I was kind of expecting a bit more hop in the mouth than what I'm getting here. I think it's delightful, smooth.
It's a perfectly fine, or I would rather want to say it's better than a perfectly fine Pilsner, because it tends to lean towards the modern Pilsners, which I definitely, I think we all agree that the modern Pilsners or modern lagers are more interesting than the kind of masses out there.
If I had to go for a Pilsner, if I just like on the tap go for a Pilsner, I would go for a Czech Pilsner, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I think
I think the Czech Pilsners are a little richer,
yeah,
a little more full body. Whereas the Pilsners you usually tend to find in Sweden and in Denmark are really kind of closer to what you'd find in an American Pilsner.
Yeah,
they're a little thinner. There's not a lot of texture or character
not
to
much
them.
going on.
Yeah. Whereas with your Czech Pilsners, they're a little more richer and full body, and I think this kind of falls into that category.
It's like a hoppy Czech Pilsner.
Yeah, that's a very good description of this.
Yeah,
and I
like it.
I like it too. I would if I saw this on tap, and I would not be disappointed by it.
No,
but I think the problem that I have with it is a Christmas box.
We haven't had anything Christmassy yet.
Yeah, well, we had the Christmas sour a couple of days ago.
Both extremely disappointed in.
Yeah, that was the low water mark of the box, and extremely disappointing. But we haven't had any stouts or porters or barley wines or really heavy kind of Christmas, like what you would think of for the winter kind of thing. This is like a summer beer that they had left over, and if I had this in June or July on a hot day, I think this would probably be like the bee's knees.
Yeah,
it would be the cat's pajamas for sure.
The cat's pajamas.
But in the winter, I think it's just not it's not doing it for me.
It doesn't hit like the notes you want during winter.
Yeah,
and I mean, I gotta say, up until now, we had the Cloud Free that was absolutely amazing, and the Coffee and Smoke, which is kind of a unusual 2-old beer, and I guess the Sour Christmas is also kind of unusual. Or rare, if you want to call it that. But I mean, like the Raid beer is kind of like one of their standard selections, and also the First Frontier IPA is also one of like kind of like their standard beers. So I don't know if it's like in the beginning of the calendar that they're kind of like just introducing you to the brand, and then it's gonna ramp it up later on. But I mean, I'm really hoping for some more interesting, kind of hard to find 2L beers coming up later on.
Yeah, because 2L, they make a lot of stuff, and
they make some really experimental stuff as well. So
yeah, I was kind of hoping for like there to be more of the experimental stuff.
Yeah, like the barrel aged Goliath Imperial Stouts, for example, like those are great.
I haven't tried that. That sounds really good.
They're so good, and there's licorice versions like the Liquid Confidence.
Liquid Confidence is really good. Yeah, for sure.
So I'm really hoping that we get to see some of that kind of stuff later on.
Yeah, I really want to see them more play with some of their ingredients, because that's one of the things that when I think I'm a 2L, I think like they like to take traditional stuff and really play with it.
Yeah,
and do
put your own twist on it,
out of the box kind of thinking. Because I love 2L, they're one of my favorite breweries. But while I'm enjoying what we've had so far, I'm just not. Like in these first 6 beers, there's been nothing that has been just like this is what I know 2L for. This is
Yeah.
It's all been kind of by the numbers. Kind of
It feels like they're kind of safing it so far.
yeah.
Like the first, well, what are we at? 6 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first 6 days have been kind of safe, except for the coffee and smoke, which was a little bit after, but it was not overly smoky or overly. I mean, we both agreed that the coffee was kind of lacking in it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Day
So, what would you give this? I'll go first. I think I'd let you go the last. I'll go. I like it. Don't love it. For a Pilsner, it's a kind of Pilsner for people that hate Pilsners. I think they would probably enjoy this. Again, I'm probably going to go 3.5 on this.
Yeah. I'm well right around there with you at 3.25.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's and I think maybe under different conditions and
If it was a really hot summer's day, this would probably be like the most refreshing thing you could find.
oh yeah, I'd probably be guzzling this all day long and then gushing over how much I loved it. But yeah, I think in these cold winter nights, it's just
Not really hitting those notes.
not getting there for me. But yeah, 3.5, 3.25. Moving on, day 7 coming up soon.
Let us know what you think about the raid beer in the comments.
Yep.